Hi guys, Deb Acker here, back with another video. And the title of today's video is How to Heal from Being Ghosted. So at some point or another, most of us, especially if you're dating, have been ghosted in relationship. I can definitely relate to this. And I'm so excited to share with you guys today some various awarenesses as well as some tools to help you to begin to heal from this. So first and foremost, if you are new to this channel, welcome. I'm an intuitive coach and I work mainly with women to help them to heal their past and heal their childhood patterns, specifically around abandonment, right? And the abandonment that can show up when we have physically and or emotionally unavailable parents. And here's the thing. If you grew up in that environment, you're already pre-wired to be ghosted, right? Because you have an abandonment pattern. And so much of the time, the pattern that lives inside of us, we attract people that until that pattern is healed, which is at the root of what I work with my clients on, until that pattern is healed, so much of the time you are going to likely attract people that are going to bring that pattern up in you. Now, most of us see that as a negative thing or a bad thing, but if you can actually lean into that pattern, which I'm going to dive into a little bit later on in this video, if you can lean into that pattern to actually feel it and heal it, it can be healed so that you can stop attracting ghosting. Another piece of this is when we're kids, a lot of times we learn to abandon ourselves, right? Someone makes fun of us and we subconsciously end up on their side instead of our side, right? We think we've done something wrong. Same thing can happen with our parents, right? Where because we don't want them to abandon us again, right? We end up abandoning ourselves in some way or another. So just first and foremost, notice if that's true for you, right? So from here, I want to give you a few awarenesses around this. First and foremost, know that how someone shows up is always about them. It is always about them. So, it can be really easy to take things personally. And I'm not sure if I've done a video on this or not, but if I haven't, I will absolutely do one. But it can be really easy to take things personally and instead, right, understand that how they show up is about them. That being said, what you can do is you can ask yourself, what lives in me that created this? So I already mentioned earlier the abandonment pattern. And if you abandoned yourself to be in this relationship, right, whether you hid parts of yourself or you did things that you didn't want to do in hopes that they would stay, know that when they leave, they are just reflecting the pattern that lives within you, right? So understand first and foremost that is a huge piece of it. And that, once you start to heal those patterns, that starts to shift. Also, as part of this, look at, do you have patterns, within you that you think are parts of you really, that you think aren't lovable, right? So do you have parts that you think aren't lovable? And a lot of times when we have those, that can actually lead again to someone leaving because we're like, oh, I don't want to show them this part of myself. And then you show a part of yourself that maybe you think isn't lovable or isn't worthy of love in some way. And then what happens is you end up creating the exact thing that you were scared of creating, right? And that's why you were hiding the pattern in the first place or hiding that part of you in the first place. So again, notice if that is true for you. Also, I want to plant a seed. Understand that if you show that part of yourself to someone and then, they leave, they are showing you who they are going to be in the relationship. And do you think a relationship is sustainable under those conditions, right? So if this person is never willing to deal with conflict with you, right? If they're never willing to stay in their trigger and actually be willing to work through that, what do you think that life with them 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 years down the road, what do you think life with them is really going to look like, right? And so I would just plant that seed because so much of the time our abandonment pattern has us wanting to hold on to something or someone really so that we are not abandoned, even if that person in the long run isn't going to be the right fit for us, isn't going to be good for us. So many important points. Then from there, what I always recommend you do is that you feel the pattern that is up for you. So I'm imagining if you are watching this video right now, you've been ghosted by somebody, right? And there's a trigger in your body, right? There's an abandonment pattern in your body or there's a discomfort of some kind in your body. So can you close your eyes? Can you breathe deep into your body? And can you, it's almost like I always tell my clients, we turn up the dial on it. So instead of actually trying to escape or, go drinking, go out with your friends, exercise even, all the ways we escape, if you could even take 30 seconds or a minute to feel that, what's going to happen is the pattern is going to start to diminish, and over time, you are less likely to attract people who are going to abandon you, right? So just understand, and so that's the next piece of this. The third piece of this is so much of the time we have things that we want to say to somebody when they ghost us, right? And so 2 things you can do with this is you can see them in front of you and you can say everything that you wish you had been able to say to them in person, right? And you could choose to write it down. Like you could write them a letter or write it in your journal, and you just want to get as much of that. It doesn't even have to make sense, right? But you want to get as much of that out of your system. And along with that, if there's any anger there, feel that anger, right? If there's sadness, if there's hurt, there's pain, whatever it is, as much as possible, you want to feel that anger. So, and no, you are not alone in this, right? Because again, it's a really, really common thing, especially nowadays. What's happening is that this has become a popular way of sort of showing up, and that it's like been socially, it's become socially acceptable to do this. But understand, the most important piece is someone is showing you their character, and you are worthy of more in this life. So that is today's video. If you are enjoying this video and this series, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It is always my intention to help you, first and foremost, to heal the abandonment that's created a lot of times when we have physically and emotionally unavailable parents. And with this, to give you new awarenesses, new tools, new practices to really help support you on your path. And there's a ton of resources below, so make sure you check those out, including my complimentary Healing Through Abandonment kit. So until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will look forward to seeing you soon.